I want to welcome you all to this conference. And I don't know who this guy is, but he's the University of Absurdity. I would encourage all of you to come in late and rustle some papers, perhaps drink water, unzip bags, have loud conversations during the presentation. Entirely in keeping with the entire weekend's conference. I thank Professor Mortimer.
I'll get straight on with the paper with my learned colleagues. The paper is entitled Metafictional and Pseudo-Didactic Influences in the Embryonic Formulation Techniques as Applied to the Schematic Literary Tonality of Humpty Dumpty. When considering the aforementioned question, I would first like to quote from the distinguished Pudsey hyperbolist, Professor Seraphim Rutt, B.A., B.O., D.F.D.S., P.C.O., whose seminal studies of established nursery rhyme have informed the whole body of literary academia. According to Rutt, and I quote,
"Nursery rhyme is the sine qua non of existentialist and ludic behaviour patterns. We stick in our thumb, we pull out a propensity for escapist phantasmagoria."
With these words in mind, I intend in this paper to illustrate just how far Humpty Dumpty responds to our phonetic and formulaic necessities in a post-postmodernist age given to mordant cynicism and a pre-apocalyptic sense of fatality. I shall demonstrate how the narrative poem-rhyme sequence combines to create both an almost atavistic sense of erstwhile innocence with an impending hint of an escapable doom. To achieve my objective, I shall deconstruct the work in question line by line and thereby illustrate the veracity of my hypothesis.
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall.
The name Humpty Dumpty suggests a certain sense of the lumpen proletariat. One of the anonymous mass of humanity, unknown, anonymous, unacknowledged, yet without whom any society would prove beyond function. Sat on the wall, not stood, it should be noted. Sat suggests a certain resignation to one's fate, an acceptance that the mighty powers of the state may prove excessive. On the wall, a phraseology not unfamiliar to lexicographers, but not known it as interchangeable with on the fence. Suggesting an inability to make a resolute decision. Combined with the symbolic nature of sat, we are already sensing the presence of history's fatalistic shadow about to be thrown over the proceedings.
Humpty Dumpty had a big fall.
Here I would like to quote the literary confusionist, Dr. Purtle Blizzard, and her definitive study of the word fall.
Associations with fall are manifold and provocatively ambivalent. Religious connotations and the Garden of Eden come immediately to mind. But also we cannot discount the seasonal reference as practiced by the North American continent with all the concomitant associations. Concomitant. Wherever the war fall occurs, lurking in the proximity is some sense of impending catastrophe.
Plus which we have the repetition of the name Humpty Dumpty, emphasising, if any emphasis was required, that here we are dealing with a lower strata of society, for whom any slump in fortunes is likely to prove little more than catastrophic.
All the king's horses and all the king's men.
The importance of the repetition of all the kings cannot be overemphasized. Consider how the author is placing side by side, firstly a member of the lower orders, the conventional portrayal of Humpty by illustrators down the ages as overweight, simplistically grinning is relevant, and the power of the state, thereby illustrating a basic political truism. And here we have not only the indisputable power of all the king's horses, but also up there riding them in a position of obvious authority, all the king's men. A combination strongly suggesting the military power of the state, a hint of omnipotence, and I would venture to speculate a possible dictatorship. The line resounds with authority and indisputable might, a declamatory tone to instill fear in a great mass of seething humanity somewhere beneath. We come then to the telling final word of the line, men. The choice of gender is deliberate. And for many in the world of literary feminism, both optimistic and degrading. Optimistic in it suggests women will have nothing to do with the self-destructive trappings of power and are dedicated to solving society's shortfalls, not via the depressingly familiar, yet ineffectual male aggression, but as the renowned feminista Dr. Dutiful Dungaree puts it.
The petals of flowers, the trickle of rainwater, the flick of a rabbit's ear, the gentle scurryings of clouds.
Only resorting when left with no alternative to, as a good doctor puts it,
kicking the knackers.
The pessimist comes from the poet's inherent belief that when the powers of the state are called upon, the reflex action is to summon the male of the species.
Couldn't put Humpty together again.
Society, we should surmise from this line, is in a state of chaotic fracture, and salvation seems a remote possibility. Nothing the state can do, even allowing the might of its forces of repression, its implied omnipotence, can redeem the situation. Yet here, we can sense the presence of both despair and hope. I quote finally from Professor Zit Carapace and his definitive study of historical and social paradox: black is white, up is down, Popeye is olive oil.
Nothing is what it first appears. The clean-shaven man may eventually have a full beard, hot water become cold, and if you stand long enough in a cesspit, a flower will grow through your armpit.
In other words, from an alternative perspective, the inability of the state to remedy the fractured situation is a sign of hope, a manifestation of the limit of the state's powers, and for as long as those powers are limited, there are the possibilities for individual endeavour, and redemption is not beyond our reach. Thus, in conclusion, the surface simplicity of this children's quatrain disguises a poem of political complexity, with an ability to speak to society through the decades and the centuries, and to illuminate the paradoxes and seemingly irreconcilable differences of our nascent civilization. Thus, Humpty Dumpty is both unerringly cognizant of our social frailties, yet instinctively positive of our potential to combat those same frailties. Thank you very much.
Do we have a couple of minutes for questions?
We've got quite a question.
How long did that take you to do?
Yes, I did it when I missed the bus that morning.